A couple of years ago, Professor Eitan Cooper, a leading Israeli environmentalist, published a book called The Land is Full, in which he raised a taboo question in Israeli society. Israel is already one of the most densely populated countries in the world. Is it environmentally sustainable? And is it responsible towards the next generation of Israelis to continue this trend? Now, this book drew a lot of emotional reactions as well as some very cogent counter-arguments. But nonetheless, the basic fact is that Israelis love large families. Me too. Religious Israelis view this as a religious obligation. And in fact, the birth rate amongst Haredi Israelis is double that of the general Israeli population, which is much larger in general than that of the OECD countries. Now let's take another look and see whether it's possible to reconcile the obligation to be fruitful and multiply with the need for environmental sustainability. The words "be fruitful and multiply" are pronounced several times in the first 9 chapters of the book of Genesis. Only the last time, according to Rashi, is it given as a commandment to the children of Noah who are emerging from the ark. They're told to be fruitful and multiply, swarm the earth, and multiply in it. Now, why does the word multiply repeat itself? Rabbi Samson Raphael Hirsch cited a midrash in which a sage wonders at the cultural diversity on the earth that's the result of the various climates. Now, Hirsch said, urvu, multiply, really in this case means to be diverse. God is commanding us to be diverse, and genetically, politically, and socially, diverse cultures are healthy cultures. In addition, the sages asked, what's the minimum requirement for being fruitful and multiplying? They claimed it was 2 children. Furthermore, most sages claimed that the obligation was only on the man. At first, this would appear kind of silly and misogynist. Yet it also has its practical applications. For example, another midrash cites a sage's wife who had great difficulty giving birth to twins, approaching her husband and asking whether the obligation is on the man or the woman. And when he answers that it's on the man, she takes a drug to make herself sterile. Yes, birth control in the Talmud. In this way, we see that the obligation is his, but the choice is hers. So we can understand the obligation to be fruitful and multiply to mean celebrate diversity in society, have 2 children, and your wife should decide when or whether to have more. Professor Tal has been invited several times to engage Haredi audiences in academic colleges in Israel. And he says that, to his surprise, he hears young women questioning whether they want to have as many children as their mothers did. So while their concerns are more the dynamics and economics of child rearing rather than environmental issues, nonetheless, I believe that the answer to Professor Eitan Cooper's question ultimately will come from them. Shavua Tov et Schechter.